Ram. Sai Ram, Brother Julius.
Okay. How is everyone doing? Hope everyone is great. Everyone is fine. Everyone is blossoming like a flower. You know, the seventh chakra is a 1,000-petal flower. And if we get all the alignments right and all the omens right, by now I think there's a flowering going on at the seventh chakra. These are all no longer just something you look at a meme or some books or some videos. No longer it's going to be your experience. And it's not, a lot of times, not what you think it is. You know, they tell about teleportation, parallel dimensions, this ability to even manifest things. Yeah, it's not what you think it is. It is manifestation, as in, you know, like right now, Vishwarupa chair is there by synchronicity and by energy manifested. But of course, our mind would always think, you know, I'm the one who, and this guy helped me to carry it. Really? Why at that time, at that moment, you were guided and you're not busy at all, and you were so naturally synchronized to a larger unfoldment? Why? Okay, another thing I face in therapies, you know, when a client comes and they would say, you know, I don't know if I'm imagining, you know, if I go on a past life regression, and sometimes they see a lot of things and they say, you know, I don't know if it's imagination. Why would you imagine that at the time? Why would you think of that? Of course, or the monkey mind would come in again. Or maybe yesterday I watched this movie. I've gone through this before, because this is something which we must respect. Your mind, why it unfolds at that time. Why is it manifesting? Like even right now, our life, why is it manifesting as it is now? It's not by coincidence. Nothing is by coincidence. Everything is by perfect synchronicity to a much larger event, which is now culminating and all coming together. Yeah? So this is a very large synchronicity we're talking about, and it's really nice that we are able to do consciously. You know? So the seventh chakra, blossoming like a flower. Why don't we think back? Why didn't it blossom like a flower before? If that's who we are, if that's what all the videos and pictures and yoga logos, you know, imprint, you know, this flowering there, and you know, we have this chakra and illuminating and all illuminating, right? So beautiful. You are in a way, maybe you are even experiencing it and you don't even know. So how come you don't know? Monkey mind. So Swami always like to say monkey mad, monkey. So we are blossoming. There's no way we are not. You know, and the blossoming is reflected in so many ways. It's reflected in the company you keep, involvement in your house or your altar, or your inner blossoming, your inner breakthroughs. Now you're having more wider ideas. You're having more, you know, so much of possibilities incredible. The food you eat, the type of food you eat maybe is different now as before. The things you're observing now is different. Now you start seeing nature, you start seeing flowers, you start appreciating flowers much more than, you know, your past. How is that? I'm definitely not a flower guy. I was never a flower guy. I never buy flowers for anybody. And it's always, I don't know why, when I want to buy so it's like so many obstacles. But now when I look at a flower, I cannot forget it. I keep thinking about it, and I keep remembering it, and I keep treasuring it, and I keep it into my heart. I've gone to that extent. I've treasured this flower inside my heart, and I so appreciate that this flower now has blossomed for me.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a big transformation, huh? Big transformation. So, and what is this? Is this our mind trying to do something? It's way beyond our mind. This is a blossom. This is something, it's a reflection, it's an omen. It's a sign that something is happening inside. And it's nice that a lot of ladies like flowers, you know, it's actually a reflection of them also, you know. Shakti is flower, actually. Shakti is blossoming, Shakti is life. So even men, you know, there's a lot of men who like flower, and you know, there's a blossoming, and it's no coincidence at all that, you know, most of the gods that you see has sitting on the flower or lotus. No coincidence. It's also omen. It's also sign. It's also saying that, you know, this is your possibility, your potential. So it's very nice that we are even able to speak about flowers right now, to approach flower in such a way with more consciousness, more gratitude, and more realization that, you know, something is happening within. Very nice. So every chakra is a flower. And some is 4 petal, some is 8 petal, some is 16, some is 1,000 petal. There's another one which is very unique, yeah, very unique. 64 petals. 64 petals is very, very amazing. And I learned to really appreciate that a lot more now with Sai Kala Bhairav. You must be surprised to hear that, isn't it? Sai Kala Bhairav flowers. How do you link, you know, fierce God, you know, with rage? In some of the pictures that comes out for them, it's a bit, you know, it's scary. And how is that a flower? Sai Kala Bhairav has incredible flower formations. Incredible. It's one of those that keep, it's like, you know, what do you call that? Kaleidoscope. You know,
Yes, kaleidoscope.
keep turning and you see all the flowers.
Colors, all colors missing.
Yeah.
And it's like flowers, different flowers, right?
Yep. And that's Sai Kala Bhairav for me. He is, well, first of all, it's him, okay? And below, or actually slightly below, there's 8. And each of these 8, there is another 8. So there is flowering happening. And these are very perfect formations. These are not like, it's out of place or a bit distorted. No, it's always perfect, because that's how the sacred geometry works, and this is how the Mount Meru, and also the whole yantra is like that. You can't avoid it. It's something which it is like that. So 64, and I got signs also that yesterday night and today also that I should speak about this 64, which is really, really incredible, and it creates incredible flowering. And these are all can happen on your 7th chakra. Okay, let's talk more about the 7th chakra. God consciousness. When you realize you are God, you establish God realization, God consciousness constantly, and then you start seeing God in everything else. Because inside happen, outside reflects. Okay, so you start seeing God manifesting in everything that you saw before, and you never realized that it is God. It is consciousness, and now you start awakening layer by layer by layer. And how is that? A lot of times you express in animals first, then human nature, then the elements. Elements include this, the last part. This is the part which Sri Ambe Arunachalananda always he shows a graph of the evolution of person, of human, how it evolved. Actually, just a soul. It's not even human. It evolves from insect, and then to animal, and to people, and people got so many types of people, and finally prostration, and then the last one, it becomes Adiparashakti, and then it begins again, that spot right on top. You guys have taken the course. Do you remember what's on top? That evolution cycle, right? It's like, you finish this entire cycle, and what's on top? But this is very important. Some of you know.
The flower of realization, self-realization.
Yes, flower realization of everything. But there is one thing which you evolve from, which we evolve from, which everyone evolved, and it is there. Five seconds. One.
Full consciousness. I don't know.
It's one thing. It's a thing. It's just like a human. You have all the vehicles, and you have worms, then you have animals, and then you got people, and you got people. All are physical stuff. Physical evolution. Finally,
souls, ancestral souls.
God.
God, something tangible.
Tangible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This one. One. Two.
What is this?
Space. Some elements in space.
Space are tangible, Tangible, you can hold.
Earth?
Okay.
No. Tangible, I can hold, and it is.
We come back to ourselves.
Self, yes, self is in all, actually.
The central sun. The central sun.
Central sun.
the
We
ultimate.
can't hold sun, right? it's
It's on earth. It's on earth.
it is on earth.
Yes.
It is round.
Can be round.
You draw round, no circle.
Mother Earth.
It's the rock. It's the rock. If you notice the evolution at the end is a rock. And that rock, once you have completed, something happens to the rock. Before that, you know, the rock, right? When you started, nothing happening to the rock. But once you complete, something happens to the rock.
The rock disintegrates and goes back to where it came from. Oh,
It can disintegrate.
It becomes conscious.
Consciousness is in the rock.
Awareness.
Yes, awareness. Consciousness is in the rock. If you are this part, the rock and consciousness same. You know, after your evolution, after everything, you will realize that the rock is the same as you. There's no difference. Isn't it so?
we have to still realize that, I think.
This is because initially you think rock, there's no life. You think there's nothing. This is rock. It's not tangible. I mean, it's tangible, but it's not. You know, it's not you.
Yeah, I can say the example here. The consciousness is there. Rock also can take the energy. So I said it before as well. So I picked up a gray brown colored pure rock. But whenever I say that I am grateful to these things in my life, I'm also with gratitude and so on, it became crystallized. You know, how does that become crystallized? Because it is holding that energy within it. Yeah, I myself with my own eyes, I saw that transformation through years to that rock. It's actually becoming pure crystal. Here and there, still some parts are there. Maybe I need to be more grateful. So it is making me to learn that everything is conscious. What you are feeling, everything around can feel. Even it appears like a rock to our eyes, but it too has that consciousness, and how you are going to treat the same, it will respond. And yeah, thank you.
Wow.
Look, there's so many passages to the rock. I show it to you. First, temple deity. It's from a rock. It's from an element. It's from a material. It can be called a rock, right? And this rock, infuse consciousness. You recognize consciousness. You worship consciousness. You speak to it as consciousness, and it starts responding. And after a while, you know, even the scriptures can come through the rock. Vedas can come through the rock. Guidances, the guru can come through the rock and start guiding you and start telling you, I am you are the same. I am you actually. I am that I am.
That is the state. It's right now it is so high. Yeah. To see myself in the rock is yeah, we need to travel a lot to see that state. Yeah, we can pray to the rock, saying that it is God, and to see myself in the rock, it's something.
Yes, and I think we are arriving there. We are arriving there, and that's the 7th chakra. 7th chakra you see yourself in all. You see God in all. And the rock is a beautiful end. It's the last thing actually, pretty much. And it's also the beginning. The beginning is the rock, and it ends with the rock. That picture I try to share with you guys is by Sri Ambiya. I've seen it before, but he's the one who brought forth the entire teaching behind. And it's really due respect have to be given, credibility. So the rock has consciousness.
Yes, yesterday only we were speaking about yesterday night, that Kala Bhairav session, rock consciousness.
Yes, rock consciousness and rock wall. You got a whole rock there to now coming forth, and many people are seeing,
We named it as awareness board.
awareness board.
Wow. Nice.
Yes.
Awareness board. Okay.
Our 3D awareness board by Rainbow and Siddha Academy. Very nice. Okay, so that's through the temple. There's one way. And there's also other ways. Through crystals.
Yeah, we used to connect when we used to attend satsang. There was like he kept a wallpaper of huge tree, and in front of it a small pond. In that, few fishes are there, and every time we used to like contemplate on them, the importance of the tree and connecting with the beings, the water, and what it is teaching us, something like that. All these kinds of exercises we used to do, and it was really so good that even though we are living in the buildings right now, up little far from nature, by contemplating on them, we are able to connect with them. And yeah, trees, fishes, animals, these are all moving. We can see pretty much through them and connect them. And connecting to the rock is a new dimension. It's really, yeah, we used to connect to the rock gods made of rocks, and we used to pretty much worship them daily, but without any shape, without any form to that rock. We are focusing on it, and we are seeing the manifestation coming to it. Is really something new happening.
Very nice. The first time I discovered about this, actually, it's, it became outstanding for me. It's in Brahma Rishi Hills. That's when I start noticing this stream, right? There's a lot of rocks there. And some rocks just capture me. They just like, make me look at it for a long time. I would be just staring at it and I would be shocked, actually, the amount of energy coming out from the rock. And it's not only me seeing it, everyone else sees it. People who goes there, they start worshiping it and they recognize it and they say, there's something with that rock.
Yes, they say rishis and all, they're still present in that form. Even in Tirumalas, it's like when we went to trek, my master asked me, here there are so many rishis praying. Actually, there are no physical ones. We can't see with our physical eyes, but he asked, yes, there are many rishis here meditating. Can you spot them? It's like we have to use, we have to close our eyes and we have to just use some a Reiki or something energy, and we have to just point and one side when we pointed, yes, he said, yeah, there are the rishis meditating still in the form of rocks, which we can't see with our eyes like that. And yeah.
Yes, it's very true. And in Brahma Rishi Hills, if you pay attention on it long enough and throughout the day, maybe in the night also, you start seeing that there's actually a rishi sitting there. And I captured it in pictures, and I think I shared it in the group. I'm not sure if, and it's not easy, but sometimes because it's so powerful that it comes on with the shapes. Of course, when it comes out with the shape, it can use leaves, it can use shadows, it can use, some kind of texture, contrast, but these are all part of their manifestation for us to see. So when I actually spend a lot of times with the rocks, right? A lot of rocks actually after a while. And I was in this Rudra stream. Oh my God, I've reckoned there's 11 points where, the rishis are. Actually, no, not 11. In Rudra is 7 points. And these are confirmed rishis sitting there. Because, the moment I pay attention on it, the formations start coming out, and the highlights start coming out, and you start seeing that the entire ecosystem around that rock is actually already in position to respect the rock. So there's a lot of this kind of things you see in the jungle. Once you spot one rock, you start seeing that this is the center of this area. So and there are a couple of people who are very good in doing this, and one of them insists that he doesn't want to be mentioned, so I will not mention it. So he is one who pointed it out for me, and there are a few more. Constantly, this kind of confirmation keep coming from one and another, and their approach towards it is always very unique, very special, very beautiful, their own path and discovery. So to keep meeting these people and seeing the different ways which they have come to this space and recognizing that rock, it's very interesting. Yeah. So yes, so that's one of the way. Now, crystals also rocks, right? Crystals, they have courses, very expensive courses, and you have to buy, it's very expensive to buy anyway. I mean, if you're lucky, they come to you, and they have the whole module, the whole manual to teach you how to communicate with the rock and treat it as something alive and something that influences you every day, and how you should treat it, and ultimately discover that your crystal is a conscious being, has consciousness. Yeah. And those who follow very loyally towards the crystal path, they will also discover consciousness. Yeah. So in that way, you can also approach the ultimate realization that consciousness is everywhere. Yeah.
We can apply that to everything in that case, isn't it, brother? That's what you're trying to say. So a house is made out of rocks and bricks. So if there's consciousness, then there's consciousness in the house.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so it's a new realization for me. Wow.
Yes. The path of the house is a bit longer because the house has many things inside which you have, sentimental value over, and then you have your memories. And so it takes a while before you reach the stage where, this house, of course, there are those who put a lot into the house and really treasure it and felt grateful to the house that, you have gone through so much, and you finally, the house is there for you, and you one day look at it from a distance and realize how great this house has been, and a lot of times it's usually a lot of times it's usually in the past, and that's not something which we all should encourage, because even now you can appreciate your house. Your house is incredible. It gave you a roof, and it is there for you for so many things. Yeah. I remember.
Yeah, I
Yes, go ahead.
Brother Taha doing a gratitude meditation, and he said even, thank your bed and every corner of the room. So I didn't appreciate it. I didn't understand it then. But now there's this, after 25 years of living in this house, there's a big repair in one of our roofs in the bathroom. And I realized, I actually, without knowing this, brother, I thanked my house because we have had a good time here until now. So just like the body needs a, repair then and now and then, house also I realized. So we are talking about that consciousness, but just this morning I was thanking my house, for giving us such blessings. So it's synchronicity again. You're talking about this topic right now. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Look at that. All synchronizing. It's in very good flow. Okay, your realization, your experience, and then what has been spoken. Then later, your discoveries, and then later it's confirmed again by messages coming through. These are all synchronicities. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, Sister Samudra. Yes, we usually take it for granted, everything that is around. But when we really see and feel that gratitude, oh my God, there is so much we have been provided with.
Absolutely.
Yes. Very beautiful. Yeah. So these are all part of our discovery, where we realize that consciousness is in everything. Yeah, everything. I remember one time, I don't know if it's 15 years ago, maybe more than 20 years ago, when I wanted to write a poem about tissue paper.
Wow.
Because I really,
Incredible. Please go ahead.
really, I felt so grateful for tissue papers. You know why? Because tissue papers, they've always been there. When you're sad time, when you're happy time, when you need, and they're always manifesting. And I remember it was so deep to one point that I really wanted to write, a poem about it. That this is like a friend who is always there, And even my car, there's one car that I had, and so these are all part of our discovery, our realization that even in the non-tangible, even in the tangible things, there is life.
Yeah, see the magic. Even we deformed the nature. Tissue paper is actually the plant. Yeah.
Yes.
Even we deformed it, it is still with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
So really, the nature and the mother. Wow. I have not seen this point until now. As you are saying, we need to be grateful for tissue paper. Now I got, oh my God, this is also a form of nature,
Yes.
which is there always with us.
Yes, trees came from trees. Yeah. Yeah. And I really appreciate Hinduism for opening this channel up for me, because they encourage this, worshipping on the tangible things as God, and recognizing that there's divinity in all, and that's why you have so many forms, so many forms of gods coming through, and to be able to enjoy our life with this awareness is really something else. It's a really that's the seventh chakra. God consciousness. Constantly you're seeing God conscious, God manifesting as the house, God manifesting as the car, God manifesting as even your enemies. All are there. All has the role to play, as your lover, as your friend. And it's not a random thing. Okay, once you're in that state of consciousness, it is the flowering. It is part of a very large flow. Okay, it's not just one and then that's it, but it is part of your story. It's part of your life. It's part of your unfoldment. It's part of your realization, and it's part of your merging into God. So it's a very big, it's like Ganges, it's just undercurrents are very strong, it's very powerful actually. So seventh chakra, it's God consciousness. It is the realization of yourself as God in all. After a while,
For me, brother,
sorry.
for me, brother, I feel it's not just only the stone, I feel it's each and everything, the tree, the everything, because I feel that the atom, the minute atom is also a God. Everything is God, not only the stone. Yeah, stone because we find it in the temple where we are living in, but I feel so much attached to the tree where it's giving us a life. The tree is giving me a life. So I feel it's not only the rock, it's each and every minute atom within me and outside. The much of energy and the much of consciousness we give to them it's all divine. It's all God. Everything is God within and out there.
Yes, it's
We
true.
it's a vast thing. It's mass, and the mass is all one. It's just that one consciousness. It's the divinity.
Very true, correct. And you see it in the movements. Yeah? When you look at the trees, it's largely sort of a movement. The trees has circulation and there's an ecosystem going on, and these are more easier to recognize in a way because it looks alive. And there's life. Once you recognize life, you're able to include a lot of other manifestations of life. But a rock is a bit unique. Why? Rock is static. It's not moving.
But we do give energy to the rock.
Yes, but still it's static. It's just there. It's not moving. And to recognize God in the static, it's a breakthrough. It's a big one. That's a big one. Why? Look at that. There's always two. Yeah, if you study even Shiva consciousness for that matter, even the lingam, there are static lingam and there is dynamic lingam, right? Static lingam usually black one, usually. The white one, they call it dynamic lingam. Static lingam, you cannot take it away from the temple. Once it's there, it's there. You're not supposed to move it. A white lingam, I carried it everywhere. I went to the Jyotirlingas, all the temples with that white lingam. And it's dynamic. It's a moving. It's something which energy. It needs to move. Even Kalabhairav, it moves. Yeah. So the dynamics, the Shakti side, it's much more easier to recognize life because it's alive and it is manifesting in many ways. Yeah. But if it's a static one, not moving, and you recognize it as God, it's a breakthrough. It's something which is a large part of the universe is static. It's not moving, but there is consciousness. Yeah. So to have recognition of the rock finally as yourself, as consciousness, you know what happened to you? You might just become the rock. You will just sit like a rock.
The stillness.
And you'll be in full consciousness. Look at that. A lot of Buddhas and a lot of saints, they just sit like a rock. But the amount of energy that's coming out is crazy because you're just steady, you're not moving, and you recognize consciousness.
Wow.
There's like a boom, you know, that resonance. Yeah, that's what happened in the Brahma Rishi. When I look at the rock, I cannot take my eyes away. I'm just stuck. And I have to sit on the rock after a while. And I'll be just like that. And those of you who have been to Brahma Rishi Hills, I'm sure you guys know that some of the rocks you just want to sit. You just want
Yeah.
to sit there. Everyone goes there automatically become yeah.
So is it something like about formless and form?
In a way, the formless is in the form, and the form
Yeah,
is
it's yeah, we need both.
yes, we need both. And these sutras, this great Kuan Yin, great compassion, even the Heart Sutra, it writes that form is formless, formless is form. Manifest is unmanifested, unmanifested is manifested. After a while, there's no difference. You have a very very stable consciousness. That's how we become integrated. That's how we become constant integrated awareness. It's just constantly aware, whether it's static or not dynamic. It's there. Consciousness is there. Yeah. So in this consciousness, you discover who you are, who you really are. You are the one, you are the consciousness who is using this vehicle, manifested as a physical human, and manifested as so many other things. Yeah. So that's Shiva consciousness, also the same. Buddha consciousness is the same. Allah consciousness, Allah, the whole text is on this, you know, the entire Quran is on this. You know, the great Allah, great consciousness in everything. You know. Very powerful. It says, actually, this state is already the 11th dimension. Yeah. The 7th dimension, you have still movements. There are still, you still have play. You still can play. You still can have leelas. You still can have, you know, manifestation of even emotions. But even in that emotion, you enjoy. Even in sadness, you enjoy actually. You know, it's part of a larger play. It's part of a larger leela. And you really enjoy everything because, you know that everything is God. There's no separation. It's just expressions, you know, expressions of the universe. But the 11th dimension, no movement. Everything happens by itself. You're just at the center. You're in consciousness. You're meditating. You're one in consciousness, and everything happens by itself. You're not participating in anything. You're just watching everything. Floating, watching the river going past like that. So, but don't worry about it. 7th dimension is good. You stay there. Yeah, 7th dimension it's very it's full of leelas. Yeah, leelas of God. It's all a lot of it, and you feel this blossoming like a flower, opening, and it's 67, 64. 64, this number has been coming to me quite strongly lately. And these Bhairavas, they're all Bhairavas. 8 Bhairavas, then 64 Bhairavas, and they are, after a while, it's all Kala Bhairava. So, yeah. Just enjoy every moment.
Okay, I don't know. My gratitude rock is waiting for all of you to see.
Your gratitude log, what is that?
Yeah, I don't know. The gray brown colored rock turned into crystal.
Ah,
It's like it wanted to see you all or something like that.
okay. Can you show us? Maybe.
Okay, so this is the one.
Wow, hi. Hi.
So this is like this before, entire gray brown,
Wait,
but now it has transforming into crystal.
Oh, it's changed so much from before. I remember
Right,
last year. So changed.
That's
right.
awesome.
This is
Wow.
crystallized.
lots of
And
gratitude coming out from the rock.
yeah, and I pretty much like to encourage all of you to have this kind of some rock, like see the magic for yourself. Just pick some rock which you feel like to, and hold it and say, hold it in hands like this and say, I'm grateful for this in my life, this moment, and list out all that and say by holding it. And yeah, it may take years or it may take months, I don't know, but I really encourage all of you to have this one gratitude rock. And whenever you are really down, when you can hold this, yeah, it's incredible. It's like your boom out of your doom, whatever. So
Thank you for sharing that. It's really incredible. I can see yourself in the rock. It's really amazing how so much of love you have expressed through the rock. And it's great that you're able to recognize it as a conscious being. It's a beautiful thing. And I'd like to talk more about this now, since you brought it up like this at the top about rocks, everyone collecting a rock. Okay, so let me share with you an experience. I used to go with there's one guy who is like clairvoyant, and he does crazy things. He goes into the forest and he also tells. I think it's a bit like me, now. So he just goes to and he will pick up rocks along the way and he say, look at this, and this is Hanuman. This is Hanuman rock, and this is Rishi. So and I don't think much about it before, just because I was very young at that time. Just enjoy going into the forest with him. And when I went to Chakra this time, when we start progressing in Chakra, there are all kinds of people coming, because that place is a lot of people do sadhanas and they do on their own. They don't, they go purely on resonance. They don't follow any particular order. It's a lot of experience. It's like a research, a lot of their own inner discoveries. There's this guy who just keep bringing rocks to me, and he'll go like, this rock, I think it can heal, and this rock is good for business, and this rock is, it's like this, and he start asking me, okay, you hold this rock. Who is it? And at that time, I was so tuned into Vishwarupa Sai, and so I was really recognizing God in all, right? So every rock that I pick up, without him telling me anything, I would tell everything about it. I would say this rock, you can do it like this. Healing is good, and when you heal, you should put it in the water, and then water comes out, and you sprinkle, or whatever is it. But the core of it all is because I recognize the rock as alive. And when I recognize it as alive, as consciousness, the rock's abilities and Shakti, we start communicating. You know, I think it's like telepathy. I start communicating with the rock, right? So a lot of the abilities are just, I can list it down just like that. And that is just because you recognize that as divine, you recognize that as consciousness, as a conscious being. And this is very, very powerful in a way that, you know, you start seeing that, you know, all has Shakti also, you know, all has their abilities, all have their specialty and affinity also. Affinity means the rock came to you. You know, after a while, you kind of know that, you know, this is not coincidental. You didn't pick up from anywhere because, you know, you're going somewhere and all of a sudden the small rock from far across the road, it seems to be beaming, calling you, and you've got to walk over and take it up. So,
Yeah, in this context, I also wish to say one of my friend was keeping a rock in her, literally a rock in her puja mandir. I was seeing that and I said, why you are keeping that rock there? She told, I don't know. My child was crying until I bring that rock and keep and worship. She's not getting from there. She's like, no, that is God. Bring that and worship. That is God. Her child is like 2 or 3 years at the time, the age where she can talk a little bit. And she was like, no, Amma, this is God. Bring that home and worship. She was crying, it seems. For her sake, she brought that rock and she kept, and she is worshipping till now. And that girl is like now in 7th or 8th class. But it's like they have given respect to the child, the vision of their child. And they are worshipping that rock still. Yeah, and I was amazed. Oh my God, this girl at that young age, she was able to see God in that rock. Oh my God, it is not, I think it's not possible to all to see that way, at least at that age. Yeah, incredible.
yes, yes. Child is much more faster in all these things. Yeah, and I think I've spoken about this before. Even their toys, don't mess around with it because for them it's really alive, and you should get involved when they have a lot of toys and they start speaking. You know, they start playing all the toys and they have a story and unfoldment. And there's quite a few times which I've gone into it. I couldn't come out because it's so real, you know, and the mother would be shouting, you know, we're going to eat, and I'd be like, no. And when the mother takes the toy away, I feel, you know, and I feel what he feels. But yet they are still, you know.
Yeah, you told about this prayer, I think, about dragons. Your kid used to play about them, right?
Yes, it's so, and still they are still, okay, never mind, I go eat first. And I'm like, no, cannot. So yeah, it's consciousness in all. For them, it's so much easier actually. So they because they came from consciousness and they recognize it as being alive. And you look at it, how a baby respond to a toy. You know, the eyes so big. They'll be staring at it. It's like they are shocked that, you know, this toy is alive like that. You know, and it takes a while. After a while, they accustomed to the toy and they have a relationship with the toy. So these are all, you know, the children's world is really beautiful. And I can say most children is already in the 5th dimension. Most of them. They see life in all actually. So when it manifests in a toy, you really start expressing the dynamics of this consciousness. Yeah. Incredible, huh? Beautiful.
And also they can easily catch our emotional states or when we are off of this consciousness. I had the experience with a little girl. I was really very down that day. It's like my life is waste. Some kinds of thoughts, in that kind of thoughts, I am there, and I'm just walking to my home. And there is one little girl. She is like 12 months. 12 months, or she's not even speaking properly, just 1 or 2 letters. But she was calling me from the door. By the time the lockdown has started, so she can't come out. She was calling me from the window door and she was saying, oh, expressing all kinds of things, which made me laugh. It's like I was crying inside a lot. But she, when called and expressing, she was like, oh, why you're like this, like that. She was telling me, and she was like just climbing one window up, one window, like up to there. And she was saying, up, up, like that she was saying. So it's like, why are you here like this crying? Just leave and come off, like that she was saying. And yeah, when you are saying that they're already in 5th dimension, yeah, it's true. They can even make us enter into that dimension when we are really down, and they can really help a lot with a simple smile, even not even words, with the simple expressions, smile on their face. They can really bring out from this dramatic experiences, and after that, why I am crying for this simple thing. And this little girl is so how can she brought me from that kind of state to laugh on that situation. I'm like, yeah, I'm lucky. I'm lucky to have her around. And it's like they will not remember what the help they have done. They will make us up, and they will be engaged in their own pace again. Yeah, and that is incredible. She's like 12 to 13 months old child, but she is able to guess what I'm feeling, and she is able to make me come out of that. And her name is Joshita, the name Josh. She'll be always like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really pure. They are very pure, and I do recognize that a lot of beings who have sort of reached God consciousness, they also become a lot like that. Yeah, a lot. They become very childlike. I guess I can share with you this experience of. I think maybe some of you might have heard, Swami have sent 12 boys to Himalayas to do tapas, Narayana Gufa Ashram. Yeah. And these 12 boys, of course, not all are boys, some of them are elderly. And the Swami gave them a kapariksha tray, the tray that you think of whatever food you need, it manifests. And these are all very etheric, very incredible. If you can, you just pick up the book of Narayana before Ashram, Swami students actually. And these great stories, and finally they came back. Yeah? They came back to the earth, and the leader of the Narayan, the group, I have met. And when I meet him, well, first of all, I expect to be, some sort of rishi, sort of, with great knowledge and sitting in tapas. But when I met him, he was just staring at me, and I'm staring at him. And I have a lot of questions actually. My mind is blank. And he's looking at me, and I'm looking at him. And of course, there's a few more others. And he just keep looking and looking with such purity, such innocence. It's shocking. because it's like empty. It's just like a small child. It's like a baby looking, you know. And I felt so pure and so elevated just from that. I don't even have to ask him any questions. I felt so elevated just looking at him like this. Yeah. So when you really progress and you reach the level of purity and emptiness, it's just pure consciousness coming out, and that consciousness itself will speak for itself. Or even Swami, for that matter.
Yes.
Yeah. There are times where he's just looking, and I remember in the mandir inside Kulvan Hall, inside Mandira, because I get to sit inside, and sometimes Swami, he finished the interview, or even if he doesn't finish the rounds of darshan, he just walks straight into the mandir, and he would just sit there, and all of us would be just looking at him, and there's no music. Sometimes they turn off the darshan music, and it's just birds you can hear. And can you imagine 20 minutes, half an hour, nothing, no conversation, just looking. He's just looking around. And we are looking at him, and he's sometimes, it's like just pure consciousness. And our mind is blank. So we want to sing, you want to do something for him, but at that time we just don't do anything at all. Just it's pure consciousness. So amazing, so amazing.
It's like already we entered the inner circle. No need of any words. Yeah. Even for little moments, I can say whenever we are in darshan, we can feel that even Swami is not talking. His presence can make us. It's a lot. Maybe that's why Swami, whenever comes in dreams, he will not speak and just he'll be there. Everything that is troubling me until then, all go away, and just it's like words are necessary to some extent, but beyond words is something so beautiful.
Yes.
And also the ones who always dwell in this God consciousness and teaching. I also when I enter their ashrams, like they will just look. They will not speak. They will not give any specific instructions. Nothing. They will just look, and this side everything will be empty. Until then, so many thoughts will be floating. But when the eyes meet, everything gone. It's like, yeah.
Yes, sister.
It's
when I met
yes.
Swami, and I didn't know anything about Swami, but I had the fortune of going to Whitefields. He just took one look, and I'm crying. I don't know why I'm crying, because I don't know about Swami, but he looked like he stripped me from top to bottom. So I know that's
Yeah.
A lot of people, because they connect to him so deeply, and they know that we are one, actually, and he recognized, he radiated that kind of presence. It's like, finally you are here, that kind of.
First time when I went into Sai Kulwantha Darshan, it's like we were taught about him so much by Master. We used to see his discourses and all, but that is the first time I entered into Sai Kulwantha, and Swami came. And I was like, oh, please give me some signal that you are seeing me. I'm crazy, I'm sitting in somewhere far. I'm asking Swami from that place, give me a signal that I'm talking to you and you are listening to me. He's like, he said with this hand moving up, round. Okay, 3 times he said, and I was so happy. I was asking that question, and at the same time I was doing that. I'm like, I'm gone crazy. I told to all my batchmates over and over that Swami has responded to my inner call, and that is the first time I met Swami. I don't pretty much know about him deep as well, but I don't know. But the connection was there, and okay, I'll be going on like this. If I say Swami, even if I see the Swami's face and videos, if he sees through the video, it's like it's not a video, but Swami is seeing through that moment now towards me, and a smile just glows up without my knowledge. It will. And always when I contemplate on him, it's like he will be turning to his left and he will be just smiling. That is the face of Swami, which I always see through whenever I listen about him. Or yeah, it's like nice.
Oh, awesome.
I don't know, I'm talking side devotees where I only have little experience, but I'm happy to even share this little experience with you all.
Can feel the love, sister.
Very nice. Yeah. So Vishwarupa Sai consciousness is the same. Yeah, we are starting to see this consciousness in all God forms. The same consciousness, the same purity that has reached out to us, and for us to be establishing ourselves in this consciousness, it can be through many ways. Through bhakti, like Sister Rama, through love. And there is true jnana, which is what we are doing. We are expounding on the knowledge of it, how knowledge can bring us to this space. Through meditation, through Raja Yoga, meditating into consciousness, knowing, recognizing that consciousness is in all. Karma Yoga, where you just do it for God, which is the consciousness, it's all around us now. So all this seventh, you can reach the seventh chakra. Of course, beyond also, so much beyond, when you reach pure consciousness and see it all as manifestations of God. So it's really, really something blossoming. It is something blossoming within you, and it's to be experienced and to be enjoyed. Awesome. Now I'm almost time, and I think I don't have time for hang drum, but I'll just sing one song. This is because when you all are expressing about the cycle one all and all, I was suddenly brought back to the memory of me asking Swami directly, saying that I want to sing this song, I want to sing for you. And he was in the interview room, and he went like, I was expecting him to go like, okay, you sing this evening. And I was caught off guard when he says, okay, sing. I'm like, when, Swami? Sing now, in the interview room. So I sang in the interview room, and I broke down, and he finished the song for me. Actually, he sang the entire song after that, that second half of it. So I was just
Wow.
Wow.
मेरे सिवा प्रभु कोई नहीं है, तुझको मेरा प्रेम, मेरे सिवा प्रभु कोई नहीं है, तुझको मेरा प्रेम, तुझको मेरा प्रेम। तुझको मेरा मुरली मनोहर आशान मुरली मनोहर आशान भूत भंजन मीरा साथ चोरू भूत भंजन मीरा साथ चोरू द्वार तेरा हो मैं भूखिया द्वार तेरा हो मैं भूखिया सुन लो मेरी पुकार वो साईं बाबा सुन लो मेरी सुन लो मेरी पुकार वो साईं बाबा सुन लो मेरी तेरे सिवा प्रभु कोई नहीं है तुझको मेरा समस्त सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त सुखिनो शांति
Thank you, Brother
Thank you
Julius.
so much. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, Sai Ram.
I am Brother Julius. Can you pass the host to Duriraj too?
Okay, will do. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, brother. The song was really beautiful. It brought tears to my eyes. Thank you again. And thank you for the wonderful experiences shared. It was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sairam. Share
Sai-
the song again, huh?
Yeah, Brother Julius should sing the song again. It was really wonderful.